Hello, my friends. My name is Camilo, and in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey from point A to point B. And I think to do it justice, I would really have to go back to a time in 2005 when I was driving down a highway in New York. I think it was the Cross Island Expressway. And I was listening to the radio station, WFAN, which is a sports station. I was really into listening to my local sports at the time. And I was listening to this commercial play over and over and over all the time. This dude, his name was Tony Robbins. I didn't know who he was, but he kept promising that he had the secret, this formula that was going to change my life and allow me to get anything I wanted in 21 days or less. And after you hear that for a certain number of a number of times, you finally buy into it. And so I did. And sure enough, my life really has never been the same since. I have experienced a series of amazing highs and lows, but every time I've hit a low, I've always known in the bottom of my heart, in my subconscious, and even to a certain degree in my consciousness, despite no matter how I've ever felt, how bad I've felt, how down I felt, I've always known that I know too much now to ever accept any negative outcome, because I know I can always flip it around and I can always focus on what I want to manifest and get it. And so, examples of what that has translated into in my life, I can look back at a time in 2006, August 2006, it was a Wednesday. On that day, I simply woke up and I decided I was worth more money than I was making, and I went in and I quit my job with absolutely nothing lined up, but I just knew that I was going to find something better in a heartbeat because I was that good. Or at least I felt that was that good. And on that day, the company I was working for at the time decided that they couldn't really live without me. So they said, "What do you want? We'll give it to you." And so I went back and I said, "Okay, I want to make this much money." And so I remember sitting there trying to get $100,000 out of them, and I couldn't quite put 100,000 because I couldn't. From 75,000 to just now six figures, I couldn't quite believe it yet. So I put down 95,000 plus overtime. I figured, hey, I work a ton of hours, so I might as well get paid for the ton of hours that I work. And sure enough, they gave it to me. And on that day, overnight, literally, I went from making $75,000 to making, $120,000, $130,000 a year. And that led me to this feeling of complete empowerment. I thought I could take over the world, and next thing you know, I decided I wanted to get into real estate investment, and nothing was going to stop me from becoming a real estate investor. So surely enough, 6 months later, I was in North Carolina sitting down at an attorney's office signing paperwork to close on my first three properties. And here I went, I thought. I mean, my life was never going to be the same. I was going to be a millionaire investor, and my life was going to be amazing. But the financial markets had a different idea. And so I ended up with three foreclosures in 2008, and then bankruptcy. And then, we were bunking in North Carolina with my in-laws, figuring, we'll move from New York to North Carolina, take about 6 months to get settled in, get my business going. My wife was going to go into massage therapy. And so really the financial crisis really just put all of that, screeching brakes to a halt. And, my in-laws went away for a weekend and we had the house to ourselves. So a little bit too much Cabernet Sauvignon and some porterhouse steak, and next thing you know, we've got a baby on the way. And I went back to work, but I always felt like there was an emptiness inside me because I felt like I knew too much. I had accomplished too much, almost in a magical way, for me to just simply sit back and go back to making $72,000 a year after I've achieved these awesome things. And I was like on my way to just doing even better things. So fortunately, 2 years later, I got let go. And I thought, here's my opportunity. Here's my opportunity to go and just work for myself. And, in 2008, I had heard about this guy. His name was Mike Dillard, and I bought his book, Magnetic Sponsoring, and I was going to get into this whole internet network marketing thing. And so for the first 6 months, I did what most people do. I just tried to learn everything that was under the sun. I tried to complicate simple three-step processes. I would add 13 more steps to it. And so sure enough, after about 7 months, I really hadn't done a whole lot. I made maybe about a couple of $100. Well, I eventually bumped into a young couple, Toby and Layla, who basically showed me how to leverage the power of Facebook marketing. I got into the company that they were promoting, and we started working together. And consistent and sort of definite focus into what they were teaching allowed me to have my first breakthrough month in April. And suddenly there I was, all happy, flashing, oh my God, I made all this money. And all this money was really nothing more than about $1,500. But to put it in perspective, there are a lot of people that weren't making that kind of money. Okay. And so I thought I was up and coming. I mean, I had 1 month, I brought in about 8 people. And I can tell you that of those 8 people, really nobody ever really did anything. And so that was when I started to discover the sort of secondary challenge in our industry, which is what Empower Network, solves so well, which is you need to really have something that's going to help you pay. That's going to pay you so that you can sort of get to break even and into profit quickly. It's very hard to do this when you're only getting paid 20, 25 cents on the dollar. I would spend a couple of days chasing a prospect and then an hour on the phone just to basically get paid $100 for a $400 sale. That's rough. So, after 14 months of unemployment, trying this thing, and, just about, I don't know, about the 7th or 8th month into it, starting to get some traction, I just ran out of time. And in addition to that, my marriage ended, my 401k depleted entirely to zero, my savings were gone, unemployment was going to end in a few months, and I just had to go back to work. And I was really fortunate to get a nice job. My partner, Chris, landed a job at a startup company that produces software here in Chapel Hill. She brought me in. They were looking for a creative director. They hired me. And I thought, my goodness, thank God. I mean, a steady, really, really nice paycheck. I'm an executive at this company. If they ever get bought out, I'm probably going to do really well, because a lot of these software companies usually end up getting bought out in about 4 or 5 years, and people, they walk out millionaires, right? So I thought, I'm going to do this. But here's the thing, guys, 22 months later, that hasn't happened. And what I do know is that this job, no matter how good the opportunity still remains, this job tells me when to wake up, when to take lunch, when to go home, how many days out of the year I can decide not to go to work, which holidays I can and cannot observe. And my commute involves 500 miles of driving every week, and I'm just tired. I just feel there's something better out there. And I see a lot of people who are no more gifted, no more talented, no more experience in marketing or business, doing amazing things. And the only thing that separates them from me is just the absolute positive belief that they can do it. And that's where I'm at today, which is why I did everything I had to do right here, right now, to be part of this group, to get all in, to be part of this opportunity, to learn, to grow, and to actually watch my very own transformation before my very own eyes, so that then I can leave a trail for others to follow and live an empowered and beautiful life. That's why I'm here. That's how I got here. And I hope that this serves a wonderful purpose, that it does something good for anyone watching this, that helps them, inspire them, move, to decide, to believe, to take action, and to live the life they deserve. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.